Okay, so that should be fine. Now let's see if we're actually up and running. Connecting. Okay. Live stream offline. What does that mean?
Live stream offline.
Oh, maybe because we are not recording still? Let's try.
Yeah, it says waiting on the host to record.
Okay. All right, cool. Ready? Let's try now. 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
And where's Lauren when you need her? I'm kidding.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of This Is Our Year. I'm your host, Michael Curlin. Joining me, as always, is my partner in crime, Fresh Cut Dougie Fresh.
Oh,
What's going on, Dougie?
Straight out the barbershop. Happy Friday, brother.
Happy Friday. How are we doing today? What are you drinking?
We're checking out our gray hairs coming in, but we're not hating it.
No, dude, salt and pepper. Aging appropriately, So,
yeah, the King Ad Rock showed me the way. He aged gracefully, so I want to do the same. It's too buried back there, but I swear there's a picture of them. So, got my UBS Arena. I don't know what this is made of. I guess like a light aluminum. It says, sobriety is no accident. But I've had an accident all week. I've been pretty sober. So we're going to change that up with this 13% Imperial IPA I saw in the store. And it says, I thought it said, "Oh, Karen." I had to buy it because I thought that was an apostrophe. Apparently it's "Okay, Karen." But either way, looks like a rockin' lady on the front here.
Yep.
We got Bay State Brewing Company. So we're going to be on a little masshole kick for this show, if you don't mind.
Massholes. What are we going to talk about? Masshole kicker? Is it just the beer?
Oh, this is just the beer. I don't know. How can we tie it in?
Maybe that the Islanders are going to make the playoffs, and it's quite possible we could face the Bruins at some point in time.
You bite your tongue, but it is looking good. And I was going back through the show notes. We buried this team at least twice this year. So again, we're waving in the wind as usual.
Yes.
Whoops, I did not pour that well, but
rookie
tasty.
Time.
Did I mention this is 13%?
It's going to be a hell of a show around 2:00. So yeah. So let's talk about let's talk about the New York Islanders, Doug. Let's talk about them. Let's get into that. Like, that's the team that is performing well. They're finally starting to look like a team. We have buried them twice this year. They're gelling at the right time. There's no more games in hand. We're still the top wild card seed with 10 games left to go. And I would say of our 10 games, 6 of them are winnable and 4 of them are going to be battle royales. So
I haven't really looked. Who are the 4?
So we play Tampa twice, we play Carolina once, and we play the Devils once.
Okay, so one very good team in that. 2 teams that have some issues right now, and I'm willing to talk about it. But I'll go ahead. Didn't mean to cut you off there.
That's okay. And then we play the Caps twice, which are winnable games. They're never easy, but they're winnable games.
They haven't given up there. I think they're 4 out from Pittsburgh.
Yes, and then we have Columbus and Buffalo on back-to-back this weekend. So
need 4 points.
We need 4 points. I mean, that's where it all starts, right? It starts this weekend. We play Columbus tomorrow, and we play Buffalo on Sunday, and we need a W on both those games. We need 4 points. And
absolutely, otherwise 3. But you're right. Disappointing. Real disappointing.
Yeah. Otherwise, there's no point in continuing this conversation. But then we play Washington twice over the next 10 games, 8 games after that.
Because you can bury them. Bye.
And then we got Jersey, Tampa twice, and Carolina, and that stretch comes pretty much is Jersey, Tampa, Carolina, and then I think Tampa's somewhere. There's a game in between the second Tampa game. Okay, so that's going to be really buckled down, and then we end the season. I want to say with one of those second Washington games. I want to say we play Philadelphia, and then we play.
Do we have like a Montreal left or something?
Montreal. We end the season with Montreal. Yeah, we end the season with Montreal, exactly. So those Philadelphia and Montreal are also winnable games. But it's what we do, we got 2 I don't want to say easy games. 2 winnable games at the beginning of the stretch and 2 winnable games at the end of the stretch. And then we have 6 really, the 2 Washington games and the other 4 that I mentioned in the middle. And that's going to make or break our season. We are a 7th seed, top wild card seed for a reason. We've played up and down all year. And now once we've got Horvat in the lineup, though, he's really galvanized the lineup. The defense is starting to actually play better, not well, because I watched the game against Toronto, and I mean, if it wasn't for Sorokin, they would have had a few more goals. That
it would have been up big early if it wasn't. Yeah. And by the way, that save, we could spend the whole show talking about that save.
But save of the year.
I texted you and I'm like, 2 thoughts. That was insane, and he's done that before. That's not even like we're coming to expect that, which is just crazy about this guy.
The diving paddle saved on an open net.
Oh my God. He makes it look so easy. I'm thinking of calling this episode Soroking because we don't have much else going on to complain about, which is nice. But a couple of things on what you said. So things are looking pretty good. It's this Ewing thing without Barzal. That's the amazing part for me, that they're doing all this without Barzal. And I'll say that Horvat has brought such stability to all aspects of the game except scoring lately. What does he have? Like 1 point in 10 games. So it's not like he hasn't replaced Barzal. It's just a group effort. So pop quiz hotshot. Since Barzal went down, Brock Nelson has the most points on the team with 10. Who is second?
It's either Parise or Fasching.
It's Fasching. Hudson, Fasching with 9. Parise, Palmieri, and Lee all had 8 since then. Hudson, Fasching, man. Great. Simon Holmstrom pitching in here and there. These are unsung guys. Pajot came back, looks good. That helps a lot.
Yeah, I think to your point, group effort, we're able to finally roll 4 lines again. And this team, if we can't roll 4 lines, then we are already walking in with one arm tied behind our back because we don't have that line. Even when Barzal's healthy, we don't have that line that just strikes fear. But when we can roll 4 lines, we have more energy. That's why we always do well in the third period, because our guys aren't as smoked as some of the other team's guys. So we can keep rolling those 4 lines. Everyone's going to play between 12 and 20 minutes a night instead of, the top line's playing 20 plus minutes and the bottom line's playing 6 minutes, right? So that's the difference.
There's no Ross the boss. And it was pretty cool to see Cal Clutterbuck back from the dead the other night. I'd kind of written him off too. 3 points, and they knocked the shit out of the Leafs the last 2 periods. That was so much fun to watch. The only bad thing about that was, was Brock Nelson going down, but apparently he's fine.
He skated yesterday. He's playing tonight. So
just an absolute beatdown of the Leafs, 7-2 on Tuesday.
Amazing.
It never gets old beating up on that team. And
they
got mad skill, but as you said, we kind of pushed them around a bit, and then they kind of
little bitches. Well, they also Ilya Samsonov is not good.
Whoa,
and so the best part of that game was my father-in-law is a Leafs fan. And,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. You would think he'd be a Kings fan or Ducks fan. No, he's a Leafs fan. So he was over on the Tuesday night, and he wanted to watch that game with me. And they went up early, and he was running his mouth. My father-in-law likes to run his mouth when his teams are doing well. And
it was looking like an L after the first period.
It sure was. And then he left. It was 3-2. He left at the end of the second to go run an errand, and he came back at the end of the game. And I was like, "It's a good thing you left, Grandpa, because you would not have enjoyed the third period at
7.
Yeah, it was 7. Most goals I think the Leafs gave up all year. You're welcome. So
who? I was trying to think of who they have besides Samsonov, and
they have Matt Murray, but I think he's recovering from not a major injury, so I think they wanted to give him the night off, or maybe they let Samsonov play.
That's their guy in the playoffs, Matt Murray.
Matt Murray. Well, he's won a cup before. I mean,
he has, but I mean that team's always had goaltending issues, and
he hasn't been good or relevant in like 5 years. But
right,
I don't know.
It would be just hilarious if the Lightning figured out a way to beat them in the first round again. That stupid team. The media talks about no one else, and they have it's like the Cowboys, and they haven't won a playoff series since 2004, and they haven't won a cup since 1967, I believe.
I made sure to make my father-in-law aware of both of those things on Tuesday night. 2004, dude. That's a longer playoff drought. That's a longer playoff win drought than like, I don't know.
It's borderline on the Isles run. Remember, like the Isles run was like 93-16. They're getting there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They're not good. That's 20 years without winning a series if they don't win this year, which would be amazing. It would be awesome.
Go Tampa. I'm pretty sure that's the matchup. So
yeah, go whoever's playing the Leafs. Go whoever's playing the Leafs. So yeah, man, that's good. But
it's pretty cool that we will have some playoff hockey.
I hope so, man. I mean, I hope we don't
just a little, but yeah.
I hope that we're not going to choke and not get in though, because that schedule it's not easy, and there are teams there that I don't know. I haven't looked at anyone else's schedule, but Florida, Pittsburgh, Washington, Buffalo are all. They could. Any of them could make the playoffs.
I would say the one I don't have a read on is Florida. They just got smacked last night by the Leafs, by the way, and Pittsburgh lost too. Last night was a good night. I feel like Pittsburgh's going to sneak in and it'll be us. But I don't have a read on Florida. I think the Caps are too far back, but maybe not.
I like the way that we're playing right now. I think we are playing that's our best hockey. Yeah, we're playing our best hockey of the year. I think Lambert has finally got the team back on the same page. I really like, our D. Our D is playing better, and I like this Bulldog kid.
And Aho going down kind of sucks. He was playing very well.
He was playing very well.
Not much of a career, but best hockey of his career. So, and that little dude can move the puck up the ice. That's again, that's needed, especially with Barzal out. I wish we knew something about Barzal, but I almost don't want to get my hopes up.
I mean, we've seen crazier stuff, man. I mean, Pellick came back on a fucking torn Achilles tendon during the COVID year, and was back.
Came back to the bubble, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I guess you don't need an Achilles in hockey, right? Because you get your skates on. I don't know. So. Yeah, man. I'd love to see him come back, but like we said, we're rolling the line. So let me ask you, we have 3 pending free agents coming up next year. 4, if you count Varlamov. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Who are we talking about? So Parise is back, I think, until he wants to retire.
Well, Parise is a free agent. Fashing's a free agent. Mayfield and Varlamov. That's it.
Get Fasching back in here. I think he will, because this team gave him a chance. I mean, this was his last shot. He tells everybody that. So I'm sorry. I love the guy, but I do not want to give I don't want to give years to Scotty Mayfield. Don't. I think there's enough coming up, and or you can find someone a little cheaper to do what he's doing. Sorry, but he'll be an asset somewhere. But wrong side of 30. I don't want to give that guy like 4 or 5 years.
So I agree with you, and I think we will sign both those 2 forwards, and at the very least, Fasching will be like our 13th guy if he's not a regular. But I can see him finding a regular spot in the lineup on that Pajot's line. But you will have Wahlstrom back next year. I don't know. He's probably rehabbing from some sort of a knee injury or hip injury, and then. Barzal is going to be back, so that's Holmstrom's probably going to be out of the lineup at that point, and then I don't know who the other guy. Maybe they don't re-sign Parise. I don't know, but I agree with.
Real quick. You mentioned that there's no line that scares you. I mean, we only got like 4 games of it, but Barzal Horvat Lee was doing damage. I cannot wait to see a full season of that.
Agreed, but I'm talking now. On the defensive side, I am curious if they'll just let Mayfield walk and they'll push Aho into his spot and be a lefty on the right side or a lefty on the left side. You know, he's a lefty, but they usually put on the right side because they put right stick on the right side and left stick on the left side. That's how the Islanders have played for years now.
Okay.
So that way, when the puck's coming up the boards, it's on their forehand, not on their backhand. No, but Aho has filled in on the right side as a left-handed defenseman for the Islanders in the past. So I wonder if they just move him over to the right side and then pair him with someone like Bulldog.
I haven't worked this stuff out yet. I would keep my eye on that guy Odelius. Maybe he doesn't make it out of camp. But I would also this is Lou. This is Mr. Loyalty, man. I could see Mayfield maybe getting a Cizikas type contract where it's like stupid amount of years for low average pay, 6 times 2, 5 or something like that. But
we'll see. I don't know. Yeah. I think he signed such a below market contract already.
Right.
Once.
He should get paid. I want him to.
We got him. We signed him to a 4-year deal for $8 million.
5 or 6. It was a Garth special. Him and Pelech. Pelech.
Yep.
And that was really forward thinking by Garth. Garth gets a lot of shit, and maybe deservedly so for some things, but he did a lot of stuff right. He really did. He
did some good things. He just, he was handcuffed on a lot of what he got wrong was mostly the free agents. But we drafted well under Garth, and we kept them. I mean, all the players on the team that were draft picks, besides Dobson and Wahlstrom were, and Holmstrom were under Garth. And there's a lot of homegrown talent on this team.
Yep. And like even a couple of busts or bust-ish guys he turned into value. Griffin Reinhart being Exhibit A.
Correct.
It's been interesting. And we've gone hot and cold on Lou too, obviously. How many Fire Lou shows have we done? But probably coming back now, I guess. That's all we could talk about when we thought the season was over, right?
I mean, he's 80 years old. So let's talk about that, though. He's 80 years old. I don't know. What do we do? Are we does he also get a perpetuity contract until he's ready to retire?
I hate to say it, but he's earned it. Who are we to say, get the fuck out? But
I mean, a whole new regime is all, what does that mean for Lambert? What does that mean for the coaching staff? And then, he got us Horvat and got Horvat signed to a long-term deal.
People were mocking that.
I don't hate that trade. I never hated that trade. I hate that we haven't picked a first-round pick in 4 years now. Yeah. It's going to be 5 years now.
That part sucks.
That sucks. But
it's going to hurt at some point. I stand by that.
We have to do well in the other rounds of the draft, and we have to just keep our players in their spots. And I looked at it earlier today because I was really curious about all this stuff. And I know I don't want to get too in the weeds on the off season, but we got everyone locked up pretty much for the next 2 years, other than Varlamov, Mayfield.
I'm so sorry, but I forgot to close the door today.
Oh, hey, kitty cat. There we go. Making a guest appearance.
Tommy the cat on the show. Nice. Doesn't love beer, but saying hi anyway.
Awesome.
Anyway, awesome. I'll be cat wrangling for the rest of the show, I guess.
No,
you want to sit?
Sounds like fun.
Sorry to cut you off, but you were saying something about Varlamov. I think.
It's basically our core is signed through all of next year as well, and that's when it starts getting dicey. And so it's not like there's room for a draft pick to even come up. And these are all mid-level. To lose credit, these are all middle first-round picks. Not to say that they can't turn into things, because Dobson and Barzal were also in the places where these picks are probably going to be. And if we make the playoffs, that pick's going to even go down even further. So, what essentially was, and we guarded against the top 14, right? So if we make the playoffs, we're going to give them a mid to late teen to early 20 pick.
That pick's burn this year for sure now.
Right, exactly. And that's great. And on to the next. Yep. But at some point you gotta, you just traded Ratu and that he needed to go, and I don't know what he's going to become or what he's going to do. I think he's going to be a serviceable third line center at the very least in his career.
Don't really need that though now with Horvat in the lineup.
No,
Pageau's locked up for 3 more years. Barzal's
we need wingers that can score, and if we get guys like Dufour and maybe Dufour becomes nothing, but if he turns into something, these guys we're 5th and 6th round picks, and if we keep picking like that, it's going to be okay. But
and then you can trade all your ones.
I don't want to keep doing it. I would like to see an expiration on that, or at least trade maybe back into the first round to get yourself something of some ilk. But like the last 2 years, we got Ratu and like you said, Aurelius, and everyone's pretty high on that guy, right? Or is he a 3rd round pick? I don't know.
Odelius, second rounder. Yeah, just like Ratu. So who knows? Man, look, we've done it again. We've talked about the Islanders for 20 minutes. This is the stuff people crave.
And we have 0 views, so
yes.
So we're happy.
We didn't even try to hype this one. I guess not.
No, we didn't. I don't know if Lauren sent anything out. I don't have Instagram anymore. I got hacked by someone in Togo who tells you I want to be a influencer and to vote for me. And so I tried to get my Instagram back online, and Instagram told me that it didn't look like me. And I was like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I don't need Instagram anymore. I'm too old for Instagram. So go fuck yourself, Instagram.
I haven't logged in, I don't think, since November. And I think I only had an account as a joke that someone talked me into when I was really drunk one night. And I don't miss it. I forget about it. It's completely out of sight, out of mind.
I actually haven't
back in the day.
I haven't missed it at all. Instagram had turned into, so they know, it's bought by Facebook, and so they know what they're doing because Facebook now has turned into old grandma's way of, social media, and Instagram's now like our generation of social media. And what Instagram was when I first joined and what it is now is basically
completely different, right?
It's one giant fucking ad of, my phone listening to me, and then all of a sudden I'm getting baby stuff or like, watches or whatever, and I'm like, I don't need a constant advertisement.
It's every time so annoying, right? And not only that, but like I hear everybody's mad because they basically they're trying to be TikTok, and it's not even just like the constant stream of videos, but it's like you don't even see your friends' updates anymore. It's just fucking, as you said, influencer bullshit and ads just like shoved in your face. It's like bring back old social media where you just see your goddamn friends' posts. Put a couple ads around it.
There's no way to monetize that, Doug. They need to have everyone spend big advertising money because you get they make a shit ton of money.
Then you lose users.
Well, you lose me and you because me and you are not who they're targeting anymore. They're targeting the Gen Zers and they're targeting the millennials to get on there and scroll that they don't even know, dude. I was actually talking about this the other day, like. It's like what Fox News is to the boomers, right? It's like they tell you what you want to hear, but you don't even know that you're being told what you want to hear. Mm-hmm. So now, the phone listens to you and they admit to it.
Believe me, I get that part.
And they send you whatever they want to send you. And then, now the next thing is, you got a fucking bunch of ads and just validating all of your thoughts. Like, maybe I do need this.
It's confirmation bias, the reality, or confirmation bias, the app. But I'm talking about how like social media platforms have a shelf life. No one's kids want to be on the same platform with their parents.
Nope.
And that's why Facebook's a ghost town. And that's why Insta probably is heading towards the same fate. I mean, I guess maybe that's why they're not showing you your friends and relatives posts. I don't know.
Right. But, no one's on there. Exactly. It's definitely changed in the last 2 to 3 years. It's way different than it was when I got on it, a decade ago.
Plus, so. I hope they fail. Facebook's a terrible company, or Meta, or whatever the fuck they're calling it. Awful product who treat their users like shit.
Yes. And on top of it, Mark Zuckerberg just had a baby. And he stole my baby's name. And I was like, I had my baby's name first. Yes. There's an Aurelia Chan Zuckerberg born yesterday. So I don't really care about that. I wish them nothing but happiness. But that was my baby's name first. Just throwing that out there. Originality.
Yeah, no. He all he does is like bite on other people's ideas. So that totally tracks. He didn't build Facebook. Hater.
Oh my god.
Oh god. I wish we could have all just stayed on Friendster back in 2003.
Oh, I didn't have that. I didn't even get into social media until I got divorced.
Because you're a smart man.
Yeah, and I forgot about those days where I just didn't care, and now I feel liberated from Instagram, and I don't really look at Facebook that often, but it's
you're on there?
No, I'm on Facebook just as whatever, but Twitter's the only place that I can go down a Twitter hole and
they're trying to break that too, unfortunately, which sucks.
Yes.
Just the best like aggregator ever. Like it's not that one is not about your friends. That one is just
that's about like, news and just to the minute updates.
Nothing better for live sports, right? But you're right. You put all your media and your news, and Elon now wants to muck that all up.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he's got some politician in his pocket,
right wing enough or whatever. What were we talking about? Dude,
we're gonna be banned.
I hope so. That'll Streisand affect us, and people. For those that don't know, the Streisand effect is when you want to ban something and it just ends up making more people look at the thing you want to ban. And my favorite example of this week. Did you hear about Afro Man?
No.
Do you remember who Afro Man is?
Oh yeah, I got high.
Yeah, so Afro Man lives in Ohio. I didn't know this.
With Dave Chappelle?
Maybe. But he has his own house. He doesn't have a roommate. But apparently in his house, he has cameras set up. I haven't totally read the background on this. Anyway, some Ohio police guys raid his house, go through all his shit, find nothing, but like take stuff. They didn't just take his money. They ate pieces of his cake. He had a cake out and they took 2 slices. All of this is on camera. So anyway, they leave and he's like, what the fuck? He made a music video using the footage of their raid and calling them out. And now the police department is suing him for embarrassment, loss of like reputation, like all that kind of stuff. It's one of my favorite stories of the week. And because they filed that lawsuit, now that video is going viral. Now everyone is watching it. I recommend you watch it as well.
I will watch the Afro Man video.
Praise to Afro Man. Afro Man has already given us such a gift with "Cause I Got High." Now this is another one.
Awesome.
Fuck the police.
I hope that fuck the police. I hope he gets like tenfold back what they stole from him.
Exactly. So, they were taking his cash, man.
Not cool.
And his cake.
I mean, that's kind of funny, but not cool. I hope it was at least a weed cake, right? A pot brownie cake.
Oh, that would have been better. But apparently, they broke that motherfucker's door.
For what though? What were they? Just because he's like smoke weed?
They heard the song and they're like, oh yeah, let's get that guy.
What city? What city was this in?
I forget. I'm sorry.
Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus.
I'll have to look it up for you. Afro.
Have you ever been to Ohio?
If I did, it was so boring. I don't remember. Maybe an airport or something along the way.
Yes.
No, I've had zero reason to go to Ohio.
I've spent more time in Ohio than most Americans should.
Yeah, didn't you have cousins there or something?
Yeah, my aunt and uncle and cousins lived in a really small town, so we would go there to visit them quite often, and that was always fun to cut. Like, because we came from the suburbs, and to go to they still burn their trash to this day, right? They have like a big 55-gallon drum in their yard, and they just douse whatever trash is in there,
just light it up. All that microplastics into the air, all that crap. Cool.
I mean, there's nothing there. It's literally one stoplight in their town, and the high school is like 30 minutes away. Like it's crazy. So I went there quite often, and I had a bunch of clients because there's a lot of retail clients in Columbus. So I'd fly in for Abercrombie and Fitch and the likes, and spend a lot of time there. Columbus is actually not a bad city between OSU and like trying to make it a college town, but also there's a lot of good businesses there. So
I've heard, and I think it's a tax haven, right? So like they have been attracting. There's no state tax or something like that.
There's definitely not. There's definitely not no state tax, but I'm sure like if a business comes, they give them tax relief to open up there and start jobs there.
I mean, but one of your buddies is in Columbus, right? I remember talking to him.
Yes, yeah, I got a couple. He works for Abercrombie. He's been there for years, and then I own a property in Cincinnati, which I've been to once years ago. And
you or your company?
Me, Michael Kurland owns a quadplex in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Does it make Skyline chili?
No, but have you ever had Skyline chili?
No, why would I do something like that? I do a lot of dumb things to my body, but that one's over the line for me.
So Richard Blaze, do you know who Richard Blaze is?
I'm totally blanking, and I feel like
he's like a celebrity chef, right? He was on he won.
Richard, the guy with the nitrogen dude,
yes, okay, yes. So it's spiky hair. Yeah, you got it. So this guy totally defiles something about he goes on whatever Twitter and shits on Cincinnati. I don't know exactly what he said because I didn't get that far, but then I see this post of him, and he's like, Cincinnati, I'm sorry for what I said. And he's eating a bowl of he tried to recreate Skyline or he made it himself. And I was like, dude, Skyline chili is god awful. It's definitely a regional thing that you can only enjoy if you're from Cincinnati, and other people that are not from Cincinnati are like, why do you eat this? And it's gross. It's like regular chili that everyone loves that's made right with meat and beans and spices and tomatoes, and they take the spices out and they put cinnamon and nutmeg or some sweet bullshit in there, and it tastes like
it's already Caucasian, overly Caucasian.
It shouldn't be. It should be illegal. It's disgusting, and it's what they're known for. And then they put a shit ton of cheese on top of it. So they make this sweet chili and they serve it over spaghetti noodles.
The orangest cheese you can find,
and fucking basically Kraft artificial pre-shredded cheese.
Yep. And do they slice up hot dogs in it too?
I'm not sure about that, but that would probably make it better. I don't think that could make it. I don't think it could be any worse. And so it is just this monstrosity of grossness.
Nope, off.
It's up there with. Let's talk about this for a second. Have you what's the weirdest culinary thing you've ever experienced in your travels, right?
Okay,
in your travels.
And this is an important point. I'm trying to get over a lot of food stuff that I had since I was a kid, and I'm really working on trying things that I don't think I would ever try, right? But the thing with Skyline is I've had those 4 things in different contexts. I would never ever want them all on one plate together. It's stupid.
No.
And by the way, canned chili, just make your own. And anyway, to answer your question, I've eaten some really weird. I ate some really. That's a good question, actually. You might want to fill. I broke through a barrier in Japan and ate a lot of sushi that I would not have at all considered here in the States. I don't know if that's an exciting answer, so I'll keep thinking about that. But yeah, that's my answer for now. Squid and all that, mini squid guys, tentacles.
Raw. You ate them raw?
Oh yeah. No, this was really high end sushi place. So would not disrespect and say no, but I was wasn't that bad,
dude. So I will tell you some of the weirdest things, like Texas is known for their barbecue and their fucking brisket, right? And that's good. And you go to Nashville and it's their hot chicken and their barbecue, also really good. You and I had that. Yes. Oh, that was a fun trip until I got fucking the flu on the flight home. That was literally the most miserable flight of my life. You go down to Florida and the Gulf shrimp is a normal thing, but dude, there's some other places that are like in Cincinnati with this fucking gross Skyline chili, or you go to St. Louis, dude, and they do fried raviolis. So everywhere you go, yes, every restaurant.
Ravioli.
I do too, but it's weird because everyone serves it.
They're pretending that they're like they invented it or something.
I don't know if they're pretending that they invented it, but they deep fry ravioli. They like, I don't know where they get these raviolis, right? I don't know if they're bought. It seems like it's a Costco thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then they roll them around in like Italian breadcrumbs and they deep fry them and they serve them. And dude, so we had a client out there and we took them to a Blues game. And so we went to the Blues game and we got, the spread, a buffet, whatever. And I got one thing of deep fried raviolis and they were gone in like 10 seconds. And they were like, we need more deep fried raviolis. And everywhere we went, they ate deep fried raviolis. I wouldn't say they're bad, but I wouldn't necessarily say they're good. Like I wouldn't want that to be what's my town is known for.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, I'll house those though. That sounds good. Pretty much anything deep fried though is kind of cheating, right?
Fair.
Yeah. Wait, what are some other terrible? Oh, you know what? When I lived in the South, I could never get into boiled peanuts. People swore by them. People would buy them off like the side of the road and not even think about it. And you're just putting these soggy ass peanuts in your mouth. And
who wants soggy ass peanuts? I don't get it. I don't.
Real Southerners.
Oh, and pickled pig's feet.
I'm just a Yankee. Yeah, like stuff like that. That's hardcore. I have not had a pickled pig's foot.
No, but you would walk into like the Quickie Mart and there'd be like, but first of all, any time that you're eating at a gas station, you should question your life.
Yeah.
Unless you're on a road trip in the middle of anywhere. Right. But so when I went to school in Lynchburg, Virginia, we had the Quickie Mart. It was, the Chevron, like what I think it was called Quickie Mart. And we would drive. That was the only thing that was open. It wasn't come and go, but they had the Quickie Mart was the only thing open past a certain amount of time, right? Yeah. And so we would drive to this Quickie Mart before they opened the Sheets, which was a glorious day in Lynchburg College history. And the Quickie Mart, you'd walk in and they just had this fucking big jar, and it was like there was like 3 of them on top of the counter. It was like pickled eggs, pickled pig's feet, and like some other pickled shit. And I was like, at 18 years old, I'm like, what the fuck? Who eats that shit? Now, in my older age, I love me some pickled eggs. And there's there's bars around here that's what they specialize in. They pickle eggs. They serve it to you with pepperoncinis and pretzel sticks. And, I can go in on a couple pickled eggs and have a grand old time. But pickled pig's feet, no thank you. No gracias.
So what exactly is a pig's foot, right? Because I know about Rocky Mountain oysters.
It's literally if this is the hoof, they like chop it off right around the ankle, and they just drop that shit, and then like there's a bone, and you go.
Yeah,
you just pull it out and you gnaw, and the pickling, cooks the meat, takes just like it would for ceviche, I guess, right? And you just eat. I don't know. That's not my thing. That's a Southern thing.
Not my thing, but something I might do on like a bet.
Yeah, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I cannot see it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Luckily, we've reached a point in our life where we're not really in situations like that.
Sometimes, depending on how much we drink, we may bet each other something stupid every once in a while.
Something dumb.
So what else? What else, Dougie? We got some Nets basketball. Nobody gives a shit about it. They lost again for like the 4th time in a row.
What's their deal? I haven't even checked. Are they a playoff team? Or are they not?
They're going to make the playoffs.
They are.
They're going to make the playoffs, but they may fall into the play-in. They play okay. Ben Simmons is again not playing anymore. Joe Harris is playing limited minutes.
What happened to him?
He's a pussy. I mean, I don't know.
Jesus, like the mental stuff's that bad.
I mean, he's saying his back, his knee. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there you go. So, who cares about the Nets? Should we talk about some?
I got some Giants signings.
Some football transactions. Let's talk about some football transactions. What do we got?
So Joe Shane wants all the slot receivers, right? But the ones that only like give you a few games and then like die horribly. So if you can space these 3 guys out through the season, it's a brilliant plan. Jamison Crowder, Wan'Dale Robinson, Sterling Shepard, all locked in for next year.
Is Shepard only a slot guy, or does he play on the outside too?
Yeah, I mean, look, you can move some of these guys out. I thought like
Crowder is solely a slot guy.
Crowder's pure slot, and so is Wandale. Wandale is almost like a gadget guy, right? But you're right. You could put Shep on the outside, but at this stage of his career, can you do that? And I think of him as a slot guy anyway. Maybe I'm way off on that.
You would know better than me.
But like he's rehabbing something. He's always rehabbing something. I forget if it's the Achilles or ACL. He like takes turns every year doing one of those. Giant cat head. Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, welcome to the show.
He's a huge Giants fan. That's why he came running. We lost Julian Love, which sucks, but I think we kind of knew that was coming. And sorry. But they brought in the guy from Washington, Bobby McCain, is probably going to play some safety, which is good. Anyway, we haven't even done the draft yet, which is awesome. But thoughts on Jeff Smith? Is he worth anything? I noticed.
Did you sign him?
Yeah, he's
a special teams guy. He can be your fifth or sixth receiver. He can play. You know, he did okay when he got on the field. But he's never going to be a starter or anything like that. He's like a converted college quarterback that played special team. You know, he's a gunner, some sort of gunner or whatever the fuck they do on special teams.
Right. He's kind of a Tyree guy.
Yeah, he could exactly. He could fill in.
Not a returner though, right?
He's never been a returner for us. I don't know if he can be or not. But
you guys have like a Brad Smith or something that was a returner.
Yeah, Brad Smith was one of our best players for a while as a returner. As he was a really good gadget guy. That was a quarterback out of Missouri back in the day, and then we converted him into a wide receiver and whatever else he did, which mostly was a gadget guy. So he did the Wildcat offense.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, these are all mine. Tommy Sweeney, yay. What's crazy is though, compared to last year when we had zero cap, I mean, this stuff's kind of whoa. I've heard of Jamison Crowder. I've heard of Paris Campbell.
Jamison Crowder is he's getting a little old, but
yeah,
he's a good slot receiver. He will get you he's like Cole Beasley. He'll get you a bunch of first downs. He's got sure hands. He doesn't drop the ball.
Yeah, no,
he knows how to sit down in coverage and just, find the open spot and be a good safety valve. So if you don't use a tight end and you're going with a 4 receiver set and he's lining up on one of the slots, he's fine. I think he'll probably be your 4th or 5th receiver, right?
Yeah, so. Like if he makes it and doesn't get hurt, right? But he used to be my one of my secret weapons. I'd always trade away all my draft picks, as you know, in our fantasy leagues. So I would have like one stud receiver and then have to fill in the rest. So Jamison Crowder, that's wide receiver 3 extraordinaire. That's about it. That's all I have for the Giants, though. Really, looking forward to when we were starting to. We're not going to do it today, but we're going to start breaking down the draft. I'm sure. What's the draft date? About a month from now.
It's like it's literally a month from now. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
And have the Jets done anything else?
We signed Mecole Harbin the other day.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then we traded Elijah Moore to Cleveland.
Yeah.
With a 3 to get a 2. And everyone's been shitting. Everyone's been shitting on the trade. We gave up, Moore's going to be great. We gave up too much value. But I really think
like you don't.
Think first of all, Moore didn't do shit last year, and Wilson with the same quarterbacks had 1,000-yard receiving season, and Moore also was a locker room cancer. Mm-hmm. Or at least a team cancer.
Well, he just didn't get along with Saleh, right?
No, he didn't get along with LaFleur, and he didn't like Zach Wilson. Sorry. So he complained. He went public for a trade demand in week 6 after we had just finished a 3-game winning streak, and everyone was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like,
that's right.
Read the room, guy. And so I think that was the beginning of the end for him. He got another.
Trying not to have the butt on it.
That's all right. We're talking about Elijah Moore. We can talk about butts right now. So he didn't perform well last year. I think he was malcontent. And then he's definitely a Bible thumper, and he came out about a week ago, and nobody really saw it because it's Elijah Moore. He's not that I mean, maybe you guys saw it in New York, but
it didn't. Clout.
He didn't make any waves out here, and I didn't
hear about any of this.
Oh, he started tweeting that basically Kanye and Kyrie didn't do anything wrong, and when they said the anti-Semitic stuff, yeah, and I think
was this before the trade?
Oh yeah, I think this was the last straw, and they were like, okay, so they signed Mecole Hardman
that's how you go out. No, that's not how you should go out swinging, kids.
No, dude. So we signed Mecole Hardman, and it happened so fast. I was like, oh, Mecole's a great replacement for Berrios. He's an upgrade over Berrios as your receiver 4. Okay, we're good.
You can't trust him any higher, though.
Well, and then we traded Moore to Cleveland with a 3 to get a 2. So I think the way I'm reading this trade is that's all good. It's all good, Tommy. Tommy, what do you got to say, Tom?
Tommy.
So I'm reading it as, if I'm guessing it, and I'm a guessing man, we're going to use one of those 2s to hopefully trade for Rodgers sooner than later.
Yes, and then that's what people are speculating, right? It's just more ammo, right?
Yeah, and then I think we're going to sign OBJ because I think Corey Davis is going to be part of this trade for the Aaron Rodgers, and
does he even have trade value? Or
well, he used to play for Matt LaFleur in Nashville, and they just lost Alan Lazard, and he's on a 1-year, $10 million contract, so it's very reasonable. So I think it all makes sense to come in, send him back the other way. That way they can take $10 million off our cap while we're taking 30-something million off their cap. So it'll help offset the money in the trade. Give them a receiver 2. Give Jordan Love a veteran guy to throw to in year 2.
I guess he's kind of garbage though, right? Sorry, Corey. I was going to say Mecole will give you a couple of big plays during the year.
I mean, if he's just our punt and kick returner. So the way I look at it is, if we sign OBJ, like I think we will, then Mecole goes back to being our 4th receiver, and then he's more of a gadget guy. Yeah. And that's where I think he's going to really.
That's where he should be.
That's where he's going to be. And I do think we're going to sign OBJ because he's going to, once we get Rodgers on board, and he can be a starter next to Lazard, and then you can interchange Wilson and Lazard between the slot and OBJ between the slot and the outside. There you go.
Aaron Rodgers and OBJ returning to New York. What a party that's going to be. Are you excited for camp? Are we doing the same kind of attention as when Tebow was shirtless in the rain doing his sprints?
Probably.
Are we? We are.
I'm sure.
We're heading to that hell.
I think the Jets are going to be a national story once Rodgers and OBJ get there.
From Jets camp.
Yes, every day. And then on top of that, I've already started, like, in my mind being like, okay, this could go really well, or this could be what I just dealt with.
This might
with
be
the Brooklyn Nets.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yes. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We shall. I'm glad I don't have any skin in that.
But hey, dude, it can't be any worse, right? I mean, Zach Wilson at a quarterback. It was. This is better than any other thing we could have done.
Completely understand where you're coming from, and I do hope it works out. I just want to say that I can't wait.
I can't wait. So
I'm gonna drink. I'm drinking another beer.
Nice cashmere hoodie. I like it.
Yeah, cashmere hoodie, which I do not own, for the record.
I think we need to add that to your thing, your collection of things.
Yeah, maybe
you need a cashmere hoodie.
If we could get this logo on the cashmere hoodie, maybe
that would be cool. Vaya con Dios, I love it. So we got a couple minutes left here, Dougie. You want to talk a little Mets baseball?
We haven't talked about the Mets at all. I was out of pocket when Brandon Nimmo got hurt. And it's another freak out, right? But apparently he's okay.
He's tracking to be ready to play on opening day. He said he's going to try and get into a game before opening day. That's what Showalter said yesterday. He's going to try and get Nimmo and who's the other person that's kind of hurt? Raley. Nimmo and Raley is going to try and get one more a couple games or a couple innings in preseason before opening day, but they should be ready to go. So that's good. That's good news. That's good news.
And then that smiling Wyomingian from Wyoming. So God bless him. Cowboy tough.
Cowboy tough. Trump. So as far as that's concerned, I feel good. Familia got let go by the Diamondbacks this day. Do you think that we pick him up and bring him on board?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Yeah. Sandy's not here anymore, so I don't think so.
That's they pretty much said Robertson's got first crack at closing. So now you got Robertson in the 9th, you got Ottavino in the 8th. Is Drew Smith your 7th inning guy? Do we feel confident with that?
Drew Smith, John Curtis, Brooks Raley. It's not as bad as we think.
It's not. It's just going to come down to Robertson, having probably, most likely a few more blown saves, and then everyone being pissed off because it's not Edwin Diaz, right?
Well, and it's a tough spot for him. And also it's baseball. Sometimes guys come out of nowhere, especially in the bullpen, right? Who knows what we're talking about in 3 months with this? So I hope everybody's taken a step back off the ledge from the Diaz thing, because it was awful. I know, I get it, but the season ain't over. The team's still pretty damn good. I would not. I just saw this random rumor. It's probably not real, but I would not trade Kevin Parada and Alex Ramirez for Edwin's brother.
Can we just stop trying to make Alexi Diaz a thing? Because it's not going to happen.
Calm down, everybody. And
if we're going to go get someone, I will tell you now, we'll either sign Familia, which I don't think we need to do.
I don't think we do either. Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't think he's any better or worse than the people we have out there. And then
with him either. It's just
no. And then we got to find a place to get him on the 40-man, right? Yeah. And then we got to send someone extra down, which I don't want to do that, right? And then the only guy that I think does make somewhat of a bit of sense, and I don't think we need to do it this moment, but I think it's something we could do in like May, June if Robertson happens to be having a rough start or whatever, is Daniel Bard in Colorado. They got nothing to play. They got nothing to play for. That guy's 37 years old. He came back last year. Yeah, great story. He came back last year, and after like 3 or 4 years off from his arm not working as well as it used to, and that's a guy that's going to be a free agent. Yes, maybe it's going to cost us something like one of our top pitching prospects. But whatever, that's the guy. That's the guy you want to bring in, and you don't have to overbid. Similar trade to what we gave up for Vogelback last year. There you go, cashmere hoodie, pale ale,
upper pass, made in Vermont.
Oh, I like it. So, question for you. What are you doing this weekend? What's the life of Doug after he crushes this cashmere hoodie, and then we sign off this show in the next 4 minutes?
Thank you for asking. I am going to try to make it to a 7 p.m. puck drop, and then I'll be on my couch. I might try to cook something, but it might be questionable now that it's already 5:30.
Are you ordering pizza tonight? Is this a pizza night or wings?
Well, you see, there's some leftover pizza from last night. So tonight might be pretty quiet. From what I can see, Jenny is still working and may work for another hour or two, but I'm going to start annoying her. So I'm going to be obnoxious, Doug. We can extend this to like a 2 or 3 hour mix if you want, where I just blasting YouTube videos and
cat videos
telling you like how cool the Deftones were back in the day, and
they were
fun stuff.
I mean, I already know this.
Okay, good.
Yes,
not everybody knows this though. We'll bring Josh in. We could have a video fight. No, this weekend, actually, we're going to dinner up in West Haven tomorrow night with my sister's husband's parents, and we haven't seen them in a very long time. And my parents are going as well, so we're having kind of a civilized weekend. That's all I got on the docket.
Nice.
Yeah, it's and the weather is getting sort of tolerable here, so nice. Things are looking up. Nice. But kind of a low key weekend. How about you?
Same. Like, this is the first weekend in a month that we don't have house guests, and this is the first weekend in a month that it's not raining as well. And climate's it's tolerable, but yeah, the sun is out all weekend. So we're gonna take the baby tomorrow, go do some shopping and lunch somewhere at one of the outdoor malls in California, and then Sunday we have a babysitter. We have Grandma Lala coming over, and then we are going to do a boozy brunch on our bikes.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry, where that boozy brunch on your bikes?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the thing you pedaled, like the bar around, right?
No. We're gonna actually get on our bikes and we're gonna go to a place for brunch and we're gonna get shit faced, and then we'll hopefully bike home. Okay. Usually, what ends up happening is that we drop off the bikes at one of our buddies' house and lock them up and say we'll be back the next day to get them, and then immediately regret that decision of going back the next day to get the bike.
Oh no, going back to the next day to get anything is just
So
but it's like, but you also don't want to get a bicycling while intoxicated ticket.
Oh, so that's not as prevalent as it used to be out here. But when I first moved out here, that was a thing. That was the thing out here. I've never gotten one, but you'd see little kids getting pulled over on their bikes and getting tickets for getting a DUI. Drunk? Yeah, the cops in Newport,
like 20-somethings. Okay,
yeah, or they're underage and they're still getting
I'm
DUI.
Still getting used to being old. Sorry.
Yes, exactly. So, well, Doug, it's been a great show. What do you got to say?
We can actually make this into a tiny segment, but last week we did Edwin Diaz, so it's only fair. Vaya con Dios, Rhys Hoskins.
Rhys Hoskins.
Sorry, so sorry. But Philly fans, we have something for you. We can help. How about a Darren Ruff? He's basically free. We'll give him to you. You want Darren Ruff. Ruffage. Everybody needs control. Ruffage in their life.
I got mind control over Debo. Dude, and by the way, I agree. And there was that Phillies fan that was a complete dickhead when Diaz got injured on TikTok that went viral. So I hope that guy will see this, but you probably won't.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I hate that I do, but I do.
Yes.
I don't know his name, but I know his face.
I do. There's one other thing I want to mention. The New York Metropolitans did sign Bubby Reisman from the...
Bubby Reisman? What? How was I not informed of this?
From Team Israel. So he is on a minor league deal.
I did hear about this. That's how you say his name, Reisman.
Bubby. Yeah, that is the most... Hey, Bubby. That's a Jewish thing. So
I love it.
It's great that he came from Team Israel.
And wasn't his like dad or grandfather an actor or something like that?
I don't know. But he throws 100 miles. He throws 100 miles an hour. And, I'm going to look Jew up, and me loves him.
Yeah. And shalom. And I'm going to look up Buddy Reisman. You look up Afro Man.
All right.
His latest video just dropped. That's right, baby.
All right, buddy. Well, I will. It was good. It was good to catch up this week, audience. We'll see you next week. All right. Perfect. So we want to call this Soro
King. Yeah, we might have done that already, but he deserves it. And we didn't talk about this, but please save the cap for that guy.
Yeah, dude, you have to. Yeah. You have to. Hold on, let me just end the stream here.
Like all this is pointless if he's gone.